Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. I think I said before I use a clapperboard and quite often I just catch my thumb with it. Anyway, next comment or question comes from Veranault, and this is in response to the Roland D-20 assessment part 1, a video I did in November 2024. And it writes, "Hey John, did you ever change the D10, D20 power cord to an IEC C14 connection? I'd be interested in how you did this so I can replicate it on my D20. No, and the simple answer is no, I haven't done it. I intend to do it, but I haven't done it. And the D20 has actually been recovered and is sitting off camera just there at the moment as a project I want to do. I've got a D10 and a D20, as you probably know. People will probably say, why have you got both of them? And it wasn't intentional, is all I can say, but I do have the D10. I've got the D10 first and the D20 kind of came along second because I wanted the disk drive. But both are very, very functional keyboards for what they do. Anyway, but I haven't done that piece of work, and seeing your query actually prompted me, because I was going up to storage on that particular day and I brought the D20 back and it's sitting there sort of staring at me saying, John, I'm the next project, John, I'm the next project. But as I said on a previous mailbag component, the weather has been so horrible here in the UK at the beginning of 2025, which is when this is being recorded, cold and other bits and bobs. The workshop has been too cold to actually work in for long periods of time. So I've got 2 projects on the go in the workshop at the moment, and I really want to get those projects through the workshop before I actually commence doing something more. And you'll be really happy, well, some of you will be really interested in one of the projects that's on the bench at the moment. Check out the website because you get a clue for what's coming if you look through the gear pages. Anyway, I've said it actually in the response what the project is, but I'm not going to say it on video this time around. But that project started off as being really quite simple, or I thought it was quite simple, and it's turned into a bit more of a beast. So as I say, keep your eyes peeled on the channel. It will come to the channel eventually. But if you look at the gear pages on the website, okay, I'm not going to tell you which ones because obviously, yeah, that sort of like takes the fun away from it. But on the gear pages where it says coming soon, you know what projects I'm working on. So there's a giveaway, isn't it? This comment question comes from Come Studio 1, and this is in response to how to set up the Roland PG-1000 programmer with your Roland D-50, D550. I think at the time the D05 had not been released. A video I did in my opinion actually, July 2016. And Come Studio writes, do I need a MIDI merge unit if I want to use the D50 and the PG-1, I think he means 1000 only? Can I connect with ordinary MIDI cables out to the D50 to the parameter in on the PG-1000 and out from the PG-1000 D50 in? And the simple answer to this question is no, you do not need a MIDI merge unit if it is your intention to use just the Roland D50 and the Roland D50 programmer, which is the Roland PG-1000. So if all you want to do is send MIDI messages backwards and forwards between those two pieces of equipment. I was going to say instruments because the other one, the program, is not an instrument. It is a piece of equipment for programming the D50. If that's all you want to do, then you do not need a merge unit. Now, the point of the video was that if you are like me and you run multiple pieces of equipment and the D50 is being slaved to another keyboard, which is kind of how I work. So this Kronos that sits behind me, this one here, is my master keyboard. That is MIDI'd to this lot, which is off slightly on camera, but it's not really on camera. But this slot here, it is MIDI. There is a MIDI patch bay here, which is just off camera, I think. And that's the Kronos coming in, that cable there. So that cable comes in and then it splits off and it starts to run other things here. And it also starts to run, there is a keyboard that is there and it's running that as well. Okay, and then the audio all comes back and goes into the audio interface, which is in this lot, and back to my DAW if I really wanted it to. I haven't been recording a lot, I've just been playing. Anyway, so if you want to use it in a MIDI environment, then yes, you will need a MIDI merge unit, because the out from the D50 is not the issue in that scenario. The issue is the input. So when you make changes on the PG-1000, to send the tonal changes back to the D50, it has to go into the MIDI in. If you want to control the D50 from another machine, that also has to go into the MIDI in. You can't have two cables on the MIDI in without a MIDI merge unit. And that is kind of simple as it gets. So if you intend to use it on its own, no merge unit required. If you intend to embed it into a MIDI studio of any description, you will need a MIDI merge unit. And that was kind of the point of the video, is if you need to do that, this is how you do it. This is how you wire it all up. So I hope that clears it up, because I've had a number of, recently, I don't know why recently, I mean in the last couple of months I've had a number of queries on this, and I just picked this one particular query to answer that says, well, gives you the answer, effectively.